Hey everybody, it's Niall. Welcome back to Niall Reads and Smiles. Hello everybody! Alright, so it is January, which means that I am officially 1 day behind on filming my wrap-up for December. Nevertheless, we are here. Like literally you guys, I have to say the year ended so well as far as like book stuff goes. You know, I read every single book on my TBR. It is the only month of all of 2016 where I literally read every book on my TBR except for the graphic novel that I said I was going to read because I lost it and then I found it again. December was like heartbreak for me because of all of these books that I read that were phenomenal. Every single book I read was a 10 out of 10 book. Like it was I just read one book after another. Like it was just like this momentum of reading awesome books and it just never ended. It was never ending. But anyways, okay, real quick before I get into my wrap up, I just want to say congratulations to Miss Random Creations. She's the winner of the my holiday giveaway. I will be shipping out your items this week and yes, so yeah, congratulations. We'll be having more giveaways in the future. I have like so much planned for 2017. I feel like everyone says that and you guys are probably like, oh my god, she's not gonna do anything. The books I read, we're gonna start with the first book that I actually have a review on, so I'm gonna kind of briefly go over it and then leave the review link down below if you want to check it out in more detail. The Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. Okay, I was sent this book for review and then I also got to see an advanced screening of the movie, so I kind of had this experience where I read the book in like 2 days and then the third day I went to see the movie. So it was like Emotion City. Like if there was sadness on someone's face, it was my face. Monster Calls was fantastic. It is definitely a book that will make you cry or just, the feels will come out, okay? This book is about a boy, his mother gets diagnosed with cancer. He has been coping with it for a while now, and on top of that, he has to cope with just everyone in his world, his teachers, you know, his schoolmates, like everyone's sort of reaction to that. Everyone in his life has started to treat him differently. His teachers kind of let him off the hook for a lot of stuff. Bullies are just, oh my god, like I wanted to murder the bullies in this book even though they were like 12 years old. As a sort of coping mechanism, I guess you could say, he dreams up or imagines this sort of monster that comes to him every night and tells him 3 stories that each of these stories have a deeper meaning to help him with whatever situation he's in. It's kind of like a mix between, it's kind of like stories within a story that overall has like a greater meaning, and the way it ends will just kill you, okay? It is so sad. And this copy here is like the movie edition, so it doesn't have the pictures like the original copy of the book has, and I want to go and get the one with the pictures in it just to kind of see what that sort of more picture book style of this looks like. 10 out of 10 book, fantastic. The next book that I read that literally is my all-time favorite, I don't know if I want to say all-time favorite contemporary book of 2016. There's some that might be like slightly above it. This book is absolutely made its way onto like my overall favorite contemporary books list, which isn't a very long list, you guys. The lovely Wreckless by Cami Garcia. Okay, so Cami Garcia, if you don't know, is the author of the Beautiful Creatures series, which I have not read. The Beautiful Creatures series kind of came out before I really got into reading or kind of got back into reading. A time in my life existed. It was like a 3-year period where I did not read a thing. I call it the dark ages. Cami Garcia actually messaged me on Instagram asking if I wanted to check out her new book, and I was just like, yes. So this book actually came out in October, but I only finally read it come December. Oh my god, you guys. Okay, if I could describe this book in 3 words, it would be one. Okay, wait. Try that again. 1, fast-paced, like so incredibly fast-paced, like one thing after another, like problem after problem, like there wasn't a dull moment in this book, okay? 2, incredibly sexy. Like this entire book is like, there's definitely that bad boy element in this book, so I'm gonna have that as the second word. The third word I'm gonna say is street racing. Yes, that will be the third book, okay? Fast-paced, sexy, and street racing. There you go. Romance is 10 out of 10, suspense is 10 out of 10, addictive reading, night reading is definitely a 10 out of 10 too. It was a fantastic book and I would totally recommend it if you guys want a contemporary book that isn't like slow and like mushy gushy. It's like definitely a fast-paced, like edgy contemporary book, so check it out. Alright, it is time to discuss what I have been waiting all month for. I finally read Lady Midnight, you guys. I did it and like the regret is real. Like the regret of not reading this book sooner, okay? Like, okay. We're gonna start from the beginning here. First off, start by saying that Lady Midnight is my favorite book out of every book Cassandra Clare has ever written, okay? Out of all the Mortal Instruments series, out of all the Infernal Devices series, Lady Midnight tops all of them, okay? And I was not expecting this to happen. Like, this book, you know when you really like a book and you finish it and then you go on Tumblr and start looking up fan art and like quotes of the book and like music that goes with the book and like fan fiction for the book? That is me with Lady Midnight. This is Cassandra Clare's newest book in her newest series that follows a new group of shadow hunters that are freaking kick-ass awesome, okay? I don't really know how to review this book, you guys, because if you haven't read any of Cassandra Clare's other books, I definitely would read those before you get to this one. I attempted annotating this book, but it was so good to the point where I didn't want to stop reading it at any point, so I was wanting to make a book discussion on it, but I literally couldn't stop reading it, like to take notes, and so now like my brain is like a mess of just like all the crazy stuff that happened. This book is just oozing diversity, like literally oozing it. You go into this book, we have straight characters, we have bisexual characters, we have gay characters, we even have Cassandra Clare made a tweet saying in the second book there's gonna be a transgender person in the second book that was kind of introduced in the first book, possibly, or something like that. Like, I don't know for sure, don't quote me on it, but literally, like, oh my god, okay. And I'm also gonna say this, for anyone who's read the book, my favorite character is not Julian or Emma, it's Mark, okay? Mark's my favorite character. Mark, Christina, like, it was fantastic. I need Lord of Shadows. Like, I have watched all the theory videos on what's gonna happen in the second book. I've looked up all the possible theories on the internet. I've seen all the fan art. Like, literally, I've never been, like, it's been so long since I've been this invested in, like, a book. And then, after I read Lady Midnight, Sarah J. Maas, why? Why do you do this to me? Why? I thought my pain was over when I finished Lady Midnight. I thought, you know what, it can't, like, this month can't get any more emotional and traumatizing. And then I finished this book last night. And I died. What? What are these people doing to me? Empire of Storms is officially my second favorite book out of all the books in the Throne of Glass series so far. First favorite book isn't actually the first book in the series, it's the third book, Heir of Fire, and shortly after finishing this book right here, Empire of Storms, has made its way to number 2. So, in order of my favorite books, Heir of Fire, Empire of Storms, Queen of Shadows, Throne of Glass, and then, what's the second one? Crown of Midnight, okay? Sarah J. Maas, I'm just gonna put this out here real quick. I'm doing a terrible job at reviewing this book, but I can't even describe what it's about if you haven't read the other books, so I'm not even gonna attempt, like, to describe what it's about. Literally, after I finished Heir of Fire, I had looked over to my best friend Sarah, and I was like, Sarah, like, you know what would make this series even better? Is if she decided to write it as new adult, okay? That's just like a thought that I had, you know, in my head. This book is 100% new adult. Like, we are out of young adult territory, and we're in new adult, and it is freaking fantastic. I think one of my favorite things about Sarah J. Maas and her writing, and specifically about this book, is if you look at Throne of Glass, which is the first book, and then look at Empire of Storms, the 5th book, the characters change so much. Like, so much. Like, literally, like, I'm just gonna say Dorian, like, I cannot even recognize him anymore. Like, from book 1 to book 5, he's like a completely different person now, and I love him. And I wasn't originally, like, team any Dorian at all. It always happens, and this happened with Lady Midnight, where my favorite characters in the book are no longer the main characters, but like the side characters, the friends, the people that help them, like, just those characters are so developed, like almost more developed than the main characters, and so I just fall in love with them. I just can't handle it. So those are all the books I read last month, and they were just mind-blowing. It was like an incredible month, and I'm like still have the effects of those books. Real quick, so I decided for 2017, instead of setting myself a giant TBR every month, I'm just gonna set myself one book that I want to read every month. I mean, of course I'm gonna read other books, but I'm gonna pick one book for every month that I just really want to read, and I feel like it's much more realistic for me to finish that one book than like 7 of like books that I may not even be interested in. I actually recently got the Shadowhunter Academy Tales, which I am like, I should have read before Lady Midnight. I have it now, and I want to read it so bad because I feel like it's vital I read this to know and understand all of the theories that were posed about what's going to happen in the second book of the series. So this is like the main book I want to finish in January. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, keep reading, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!